skates in, fires and scores! Glove side on audio, and Dylan Holloway on the breakaway makes it a 3-1 game. It's
called great hockey IQ. The 6-game goal scoring streak. Holloway, and he scores!
Hello, in this video, we're going to look at one of the Oilers' top prospects, Dylan Holloway. Holloway should compete for a spot at the upcoming Edmonton training camp, and from watching his play last season, many facets of his game look NHL ready, especially his rushing and physical play. Holloway can manipulate neutral zone defenses and protect the puck along the walls better than the majority of top prospects. So I picked one of Wisconsin's game from last season. We're going to analyze his play shift by shift. Holloway was number 4. So this is the first shift of the game. Holloway's playing first line center in this game, I think. And the puck is going to move back to his defensive zone. This turns into a regroup. Holloway drops down below his defenseman. He provides him with the passing options. If his defenseman decides to draw up this puck to Holloway, he can carry it all the way to the offensive zone. But like we will see quite often in this game, let's rewatch this. Wisconsin really like their stretch breakouts, or regroups. What they often do is have both of their wingers or high forwards stretch through the neutral zone or position themselves high on the boards to deflect pucks in the offensive zone or to each other. Their goal is really to beat the opposing structure, neutral zone structure, before it gets sets. So their defenseman is going to try fast plays, fast chips or lob passes to the neutral zone as much as possible. This is exactly what happens there, but the play fails. So there are upsides and downsides to every strategy. This strategy has kind of a low success rate, but when it hits very well because it creates odd man rushes and breakaways and things like that. The play moves down in the defensive zone. Holloway is in a good position to break this up. So let's rewatch this. Holloway doesn't really identify that there's a opposing forward right there, but it doesn't matter because since he descended so low in the defensive zone, he's already in a good position to break this play. Now he just ships this to the neutral zone. Let's rewatch this again. So Holloway is responsible for finding this breakout. He's really looking at his defenseman across the ice. He wants him to activate, but the defenseman is late on that play. So he can still make that pass, but it's a risky one since it's between two opposing forwards or forecheckers. And on his back end, he has a bit less precision. So he decides to just chip this puck in the neutral zone. And his team establishes possession anyway, and they get a pretty good chance out of it. Holloway takes this face-off again. He loses it, and this turns into a breakout for the opposing team. In this instance, Holloway probably should have taken a few extra steps toward his zone to really counter this odd man rush, because right now his man is number 20, and he's not really ahead of him. He's really level with him, so it's kind of an offensive position. If the puck turns over right there, as number 25 is about to receive it, he probably has a step on his own man to turn this into an offensive chance. But to really safeguard his team from odd man rushes, it's better for him to take a few extra steps right there, really move ahead of his coverage to remove him as a pass option, which he doesn't do, but it's not a big mistake. And now he blocks his shot. You can see the stretch breakout of Wisconsin in action. So as soon as Holloway breaks this play, he's already in the neutral zone. He doesn't come back rapidly in the defensive zone in case this puck doesn't fall favorably for his team. He's already gunning for the defensive zone, and they have a bit of space to make a play. That was a good puck protection from Holloway. He reaches his teammate in the corner and now comes back and really moves ahead of his coverage. So that's a good example of a defensive decision. This turns into a corner battle. So Wisconsin doesn't really outnumber the opposing team in the corner. They let this battle be 2v2. Puck gets rimmed down. A really nice play from Holloway. Let's rewatch this one more time. Puck gets rimmed down. This is a 50-50 battle, but it's a clear win for Holloway because he gets lower, gets on his outside edge, and rams his shoulder inside the hands of the opponent. He really cuts him at the hands, like we often say in hockey, and it really seals that puck. So he can't make a play himself on it, but since he sealed that puck, he allows number 24, his teammate, to rim this up to the winger on the other side of the ice, who really skates up in the neutral zone for that puck. Another example of a stretch play. Kinda. This is a controlled breakout for Wisconsin. The puck gets dumped in. Holloway is slashing in the middle of the ice right there. Supports his teammate. Nice reverse play. And this was a great puck protection sequence. So let's rewatch this play. So Holloway sees that his teammate is in trouble. He moves to the walls and provides a passing option off the wall. And now he sees that this defenseman is coming for him. He has no space to cut back. He didn't have time to cut back. He couldn't really escape him up ice either because he doesn't have that kind of acceleration capability. Few players would be able to do that in this instance. So what he does instead is really smart. He stops handling the puck. He gets lower, prepares for a contact. If he continued to push this puck with his stick, the hit would have separated him from the puck. So the puck would have sprung loose, and number 21 on the other team would have been able to capture it. So instead, he just stops handling, lets the puck moves to his feet, and when he absorbs contact, he uses his back foot to push it back to his stick. So really clever play, and I don't know if this is something a technique you learned or anything, but this was pretty much the only solution in this instance. That or making a play to his defenseman up ice, but number 21 on the opposing team would have been right on that puck, so his defenseman would not have had that much space. And by doing that, he kind of attracts multiple players up to the top of the offensive zone too. So what he does, he has this pressure on himself. He sees in his peripheral vision. He doesn't look directly to his teammate. He really only sees him in the corner of his eye, and he makes a pretty deceptive pass back down for his teammate. So his puck protection sequence created space. It attracted multiple defenders on himself and on Holloway, and it allowed Holloway to make a play inside space to a teammate. So these are all very projectable qualities, things he's going to be able to use at the NHL level too. Another power play shift. Holloway's on the dot. He wins that face-off with some help from his teammates. And it took a bit too long to move that return pass. So let's rewatch it. His defenseman gets control of the puck. He takes a shot, moves it to Holloway. Now Holloway is in a difficult position because he has two defenders near him, and the defense on his back is really approaching fast. So he has to move that puck down the wall or maybe in open ice, but it's probably not a good play because this would get intercepted and a stick of the defender prevents that pass. So he has to one-touch this or two-touch this to his teammate down the wall. You should know that because that defender is pressuring him, the space is going to be down the wall, but he doesn't scan or doesn't anticipate it, so he loses the puck. And now Wisconsin is going to have to re-enter the zone. They're going to swing with two forwards, so it's probably a drop pass. Caulfield gets it. Nice work. Holloway gets play. Okay, he just misses that. He just misses that pass. Let's rewatch it. Caulfield fakes pretty much all of the defense, and he slips between two defenders. Holloway shows nice timing in this sequence because he stays level with Caulfield, doesn't get ahead of the play too much, so he's in great position to receive the pass. Just that this puck is very hard. It's shot very hard toward him, so he just mishandles it. It was a great scoring chance anyway, so good timing. Just misses that puck. So I already watched that shift. Nothing really interesting happens except for this first play. So Holloway loses that face-off, but he doesn't stop there. He goes to pressure the opposing regroup and forces that opposing defenseman to make a play up the boards because he doesn't have the space to make a D2D pass. The defenseman attempts it anyway, so Holloway cuts the pass and goes one-on-one with the goalie. Let's rewatch this. So pressures that regroup, cuts that pass, didn't really have space to dangle, so the shot was the right decision, and he almost scores. So a really nice interception that turns into a great scoring chance. So we're a bit later in the game, and this is another offensive zone face-off that Holloway takes. The puck moves high to his defenseman. Holloway stays in the middle of the slot. Really nice one-touch pass to his teammate in the high slot. Now the puck moves in the corner. Holloway's first on it. I like that he doesn't force any kind of pass to his teammates in the slot. They're just not open. And now this turns into a breakout for the opposing team. So let's rewatch this. So this was a good one-touch pass from Holloway. He didn't have any kind of space to really make a play. He knows that he scanned for pressure. He knows that this defenseman or defender is on his back. So the best play he can make is that one-touch play. He does it. And now right after, when he gets a second chance at handling the puck, like you can see him scanning for options. Nothing is really open except a rim back down to his teammate at the goal line. So it just attracts this second defender, and as soon as the defender comes to him, he just makes that play to his defenseman, who has a lot of space to handle that puck. But he just shoots it at Holloway's hips, I think. And this turns into breakout for the opposing team, and a pretty good shot on that. So good puck management from Holloway in this shift. So this turns into a defensive zone face-off for the next shift. Puck moves high and then below the goal line. Holloway's going to swing to help this puck carrier on the wall, so he provides a passing option. This is a 2-on-1, which is a simple pass. Holloway can bypass the last remaining forward checker and carry this puck up ice. He's in the right place at the right time, so he's just a step behind his puck carrier, exactly where he needs to be. Also, that puck carrier just ends up dangling that forechecker, but Holloway is still connected to the play, provides a passing option, and this turns into a pretty good shot on that. So the Badgers are on the power play right there. Holloway makes a play on the wall. Now he gets a chance to control that puck, control the play. And a really nice pass to Caulfield. So like I said before, the goal of the Badgers power play is to really feed Caulfield for wrist shots and one-timers, and Holloway prepares this play very well. So he fakes a shot. You can see that his feet, his hips, his shoulders, the way he handles the puck, and where he looks at, those cues all tell the opposing team that he's going to shoot, but it's not the case. So Caulfield does a nice job of controlling speed to attack the passing seam at the right time, and Holloway turns his fake shot motion into a slip pass across. So Caulfield catch and release, and a really nice scoring chance. So Wisconsin is going to try to enter the zone and set up for the final seconds of this power play, and they succeed. Caulfield controls the puck at the top of the zone. Holloway's across the ice. Now moves net front, and now to the corner to support that play. Shoulder check. Okay, another really nice passing sequence. So Holloway's about to get that puck. What does he do? He shoulder checks for the next option. So when that puck touches his stick, he already knows what he could do. He sees that it's a 2-on-1 at the net. Does he pass early? No, he passes late. So he makes sure to track that defenseman first to really create space for his teammate in front of the net. And he threads that puck through the skates, I think, of the opposing defenseman, and his teammate at front manages with a bit of effort to score on this play. So another really nice setup from Holloway. A defensive zone faceoff. Holloway is on the dot again. He's playing center. He wins that one, but the puck gets turned over. And gets another shot on that. So let's rewatch this for something else. So we gave Holloway's skating a 6. It's not really because of his straight power, or I think it's pretty average in general. His form is decent, but it's pretty wide. So instead of recovering his feet under his center of mass, under really his body, he skates in wide tracks a bit. And those feet recover a bit wide of that center of mass. And he's a bit hunched over. But it's really his usage of crossovers that puts him at a 6 for us, at least. So in a straight line, not much speed. But then when he transitions into crossovers, he's much more fluid, much more speedy, and he beats that defender and gets a shot on net. This is the start of the third period. This is a wall battle, 2v2. Holloway supports his defenseman. He finds that puck. It moves almost out, gets dumped back down. Holloway is coming low every time to try and give short passing options to his defenseman. Turnover. Okay, let's rewatch this. So Holloway doesn't have any play. So what he does is he just slows down and he waits for a passing seam to appear, because the opposing team is moving and he sees his teammate across the ice. So it was a good idea to slow down and try and wait for a passing lane. And the idea was right, but the execution was lacking a bit. Puck gets chipped out again. Moves low. Holloway provides a short passing option. Nice tic-tac-toe. And he could have seen, like, awareness is inconsistent sometimes for Holloway. So he has two defenders on him. He sees that he tries to cut inside on them instead of just feeding a backhand pass to number 13 right here, who's clearly open. So some good ideas in this shift, and some that could improve too. The opposing team is on a regroup, trying to find this entry. Again, Holloway supporting his defenseman low. The defensive zone provides a short passing option. Nice hand-high coordination. Yeah, this is another example of what we just talked about. So adaptability is a concept that has multiple different definitions depending on the evaluator, but for me it's ability to make multiple reads, not get fixated on one play and make the best play instead. So go like a quarterback, going through your possible options and finding the best one. And here you can clearly see that number 19, I think, is not open. Like his execution of that play is pretty good. Still, he drags that opposing defenseman with him inside. He could have maybe slipped that puck to number 19, but it's too hard of a play to make when you have another teammate right behind you who's clearly open. And because he dragged that defenseman inside, he created even more space for that teammate behind him. So sometimes Holloway gets fixated on one play, and like on the shift before, where he tried to slip inside when he had an open teammate. And sometimes he makes the best play too. It depends on the time and space that he has to make those decisions. The next shift, Holloway again on the face-off. This is a neutral zone forecheck, so Holloway is just filling the right position in his team's forecheck. Puck gets rimmed back down. He's supporting his defenseman. Gets that puck. It took too long to move it though. So again, sometimes his awareness of awareness of space, awareness of options, awareness of the time he has with the puck, it's lacking. And now he moves too high on this. He has to back check. Yeah, okay, so let's rewatch this. Puck gets chipped to a teammate, but now his team clearly loses the puck, so Holloway can't really move all the way to the goal line and come back at this space, especially because his defenseman decided to pinch right there. So he should have really skated a bit harder to come back and cover for that defenseman, for that decision of his defenseman to pinch. The goal is not entirely his fault, but he was part of the problem right there. So his team decided to remove their goalie. They tried to enter the zone, and now they get an offensive zone face-off. So who do you think is going to be on the dot? Of course, it's Holloway. And I remember that play. Nice offensive zone win, and it's in the back of the net. So this is the value sometimes of winning faceoffs. Clean win, perfect position for his teammate, and one-timer. Perfect. Really nice play from Holloway again. So the 3-on-3 period didn't end up being all that interesting, so instead I decided to put together a few clips on one of Holloway's main strengths, his rushing ability. We unfortunately didn't get to see it all that much during the game. Holloway is really good at faking defenders, so he uses weight shifts and a ton of crossovers. He fakes one way on a defender, forces him to move his feet to cross over that way before attacking the other way. So he's good at manipulating defenders' feet. He also uses dangles, fake passes. He has a ton of moves off the rush to open space, open lanes, open teammates, and he's really effective at those moves too. So you can see a few of them right there. Let's rewind the beginning. So he stops skating right there, freezes the defender, moves around him, and then just finds a shooting chance. This is really the crossover rush. You can see him that he fakes attacking inside, forces the defender to move that way, moves the other way, and he finds a great pass inside for Caulfield, I think. And the last clip is pretty much his best sequence of the rush. So he fakes a drop pass, the defender moves his feet to his left, then Holloway attacks past him, weight shift toward his right, he fakes a drive inside, it freezes the opposing forechecker, moves around him, and then just outspeeds the rest of the opposing formation with crossovers. In this game and the clip that followed, we saw Holloway's strengths, his rushing game, his physical skills, especially his ability to establish body positioning and protect the puck, and his playmaking. Holloway always attracted opponents on himself before giving the puck to a teammate, creating more space for that teammate in the process. He also anticipated passing lanes and manipulated defenders. We also saw some weaknesses. He got fixated on a few plays with a low chance of success, his defensive awareness, he was out of position at times, and his forward stride, that had some mechanical issues. He projects as a top 6 complementary forward for me. I don't think he will be a clear driver on the line. He's probably going to miss a few offensive chances, but he has the skills necessary to support and connect plays all over the ice. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel to not miss the next videos.